and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. The biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since, and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Okay, I hope we're on. I've got no chat at all from Facebook, YouTube or Twitch at the moment. I'm looking at chat, but there's no chat. So there's either nobody around or I've got something wrong. Oh, there we are, Darren Smith. Ladies and gents, welcome to the best late morning show with your host, Stephen. Thank you very much, Darren, you lunatic. Right, we've got 4.2 kilometres to go. Of the Film My Run 500. If you've never seen this before, this is a 500 metre climb. We put the treadmills up to 12% and we climb up a hill for about 45, 47-ish minutes or so. Nice and slow. We go very slowly. But that doesn't belie how difficult it becomes in the second half. It does belie. It belies how difficult it becomes. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. Sebastian says, I'm off this weekend travelling to a wildlife photographer workshop in the in the Czech Republic. Amazing. Wow. Enjoy that. That'll be awesome. Right, away we go. You'll notice, by the way, that the timer at the top and the distance marker at the top do not move for a little bit. That's because we have a little bit of a lead in. By the way, it's also Halloween on Zwift. If you run with the pace partners, I don't know how long for, because I ran with a pace partner this morning for 1 kilometre. I didn't get anything. But if you carry on going with the pace partners, I am assured that you will get dressed up in a Halloween costume. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Christian Staff is with us today. Sebastian Vogt is with us. So we've got quite a small group today, actually. Not very many of us at all today. So we'll have a nice, easy time. We won't do very much today. We'll make it easy. Okay, so we are going to put the treadmills up to 12%. Treadmills up to 12%, if you can, please. So, we go. Thierry Macklin, thanks for the ride on. So, heart rate is coming from my wrist. 2. No, we're not going. I pressed the wrong button. Pressed the wrong button. Yeah, heart rate is coming from my wrist. Because I have a feeling that an update in the Garmin ecosystem has rendered this heart rate monitor on my wrist almost perfect. I ran outside with it the other day. It was good. I ran last night on Zwift with it. It was good. So I am now in the process of testing and testing. You know, normally, quite often, if I do wrist-based heart rate, I wear the watch on the underside of my right wrist, and that has always seemed to give me a much better reading than wearing it on the top of my left wrist. However, with this watch, we now have good heart rate on my left wrist at the top. I'm not saying definite. I'm just saying at the moment, it all looks really good, really good. So, I'd love to get rid of my heart rate monitor. And just in time as well, because actually, since I washed my heart rate monitor, everyone was telling me I was smelly because I hadn't washed my heart rate monitor in ages. So I took it upstairs and I washed it the other day, a couple of days ago. Since then, it hasn't worked. I think water might have got into the battery, so I have to take it apart. You're supposed to be able to swim with it, but I never have swum with it. So it's supposed to be waterproof to a degree. Yes, Sebastian, hopefully no HR dropouts today. Fingers crossed, we'll see. For Sebastian as well. I think Sebastian had some HR dropouts the other day. HR to power. What are you saying? That there should be an algorithm so that you can work out your power from your HR? That'd be a bit risky, wouldn't it? I am wearing my Stride footpod, but it's not connected to anything. I will just remove the data from the pod later and just stick it on my Stride power center. I don't really give much heed to power these days. I do look at it occasionally, but oh, I see HR greater than. Oh, why didn't see my maths is so rubbish? I didn't even get that you were using the greater than sign. Well, okay. Let's say it's the lesser of two evils. So HR is not always the best marker of your fitness, but I think it's the best we've got. Because the thing is, HR, people will say, okay, if you're not very well, your HR will be raised, yeah? But power doesn't recognise whether you're ill or not, it just recognises the power output you're giving. Now, I think it's important for me to know that my heart rate is raised because I'm ill, or that I'm ill because my heart rate is raised. So and that gives me a reason why my heart rate is raised, and it gives me a reason why it might have felt harder to do that particular session. But yes, as a marker for judging your effort over time, there will be those outlying data points which don't fit, like when you're ill, for example. But overall, if you have enough data points, that averages itself out, it evens itself out. Power, for me, whilst good I love it, I do like power. I've been using power for 6 years now. But after 6 years, I'm still not convinced that it's what I need. For lots of reasons why I don't really subscribe to using power. The thing is to keep your CP constantly correct, you have to constantly do hard efforts. You have to constantly, within 90 days, you have to do every single effort there is. So you have to do a very fast, short effort, and a very long, sustained effort, and a medium tempo effort, but all, to keep that curve correct. Right, off we go with a little bit of jogging. Let's start a gentle jog. Keep on your toes, everyone. Right, so we don't stop running now until the end. We've done 400 metres. We've got 3.7 kilometres left to go, and we're going to run all of it up a hill at 12% elevation, incline, and we're not going to stop. In fact, we're just going to get quicker. Not that much quicker, but we are going to get quicker. It's 11:42 here in the UK. So over where Darren is, what is it? 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock in the morning, Darren? It's very quiet, everyone, today. No one on YouTube. Hardly anyone in the running group. We've got 10 runners today. Normally it's about double that. So we've not got very many running, and we've not got very many watching. It's a quiet day today. That's okay. We can have quiet days some days. Oh no! Blood pressure raised. Sorry to hear that, Sebastian. That's not good, Seb. All the best, buddy. Just focus on beating Victoria at the Paris Marathon next year. Everything that you should train for now is to beat my wife, because she'll hate that. What you should do, run together for the first 35 kilometers, and then say, right, come on, let's start going now, let's race. Okay, if it's been going on for a while, alright, well, so you're kind of used to that then. I see. Mark, Victoria is still a little bit miserable. She's still not 100%. She is still not 100%, but she is better than 5 days ago. Paul Hayward says, good morning, just waiting for the electrician to come and complete the lights in the new pain cave that Paul has got on the way, nearly finished. Andrew Cutmore, there's a series of Halloween runs today on the events calendar. They're only 20 minutes long though. Yeah, talking of Halloween, I mentioned this at the beginning as well. Supposedly, if you run with the pace partners, the longer you run with them, you will get a Halloween costume. And you'll get it in stages. So you might get the head first, and then a tail, and then the body, and then the arms or something. I'm not entirely sure how it works. We did this last year, but it wasn't restricted to pace partners last year. It was just in general running. But this time, I think you have to run with the pace partners. Now, I tried this morning, but I didn't have much time. So I ran for 1 kilometre with Dax Diesel, the slowest pace partner. But I didn't get any costume, so yeah, I think you have to run a bit further than 1 kilometre to get anything. Right, I'm putting the fan on because it's getting warm. So we're just taking it easy. We're still only in the first kilometre. Long way to go yet. Andrew Cutmore says, Stephen, why are there so many prompts to drink during the academy workouts? Should we all be trying to drink more? No, is my answer to that. So, hydration it's just such a divisive topic. You know, I am of the school of thought that you drink to thirst. When you're thirsty, you drink. Now, the argument against that, some people say, is once you're thirsty, it's already too late. But it isn't. Your body is a well-honed machine that's had millions of years of development. So, when you want a drink, when you need a drink, your body tells you need a drink. Not too late. It tells you when you need it. So drink when you need to. Now, when it comes to Zwift and Zwift workouts, there are no Zwift workouts that last more than an hour. And especially not the Run Academy workouts. The short ones are way under an hour, and the long ones are just about an hour. There are none that last more than an hour. If you hydrate well before you run, and you rehydrate after you've run, there is no need to drink during that hour. Absolutely none whatsoever. Your performance will not be degraded by the tiny amount you're dehydrated by the end of the run. And in fact, I'd go so far as to argue you're more likely to cause yourself stomach problems if you start drinking water when you're doing fast intervals. You don't need it. Your body has got plenty of fluid to keep you moving at a fast pace for 1 hour. Right, rant over. Well, actually not quite over. The problem with encouraging people to drink all the time, and this also comes from experienced coaches. And, you know, inexperienced people will listen to these experienced coaches telling them to drink every 5 minutes, and they'll overdrink. And it's far more dangerous to drink too much water than it is to not drink enough. Hyponatremia will kill people Dehydration very rarely kills anyone. You have to be severely dehydrated to die from dehydration. And far more people die of hyponatremia than dehydration. So, my advice is to drink to thirst. Drink if you are thirsty. But in a Zwift run, there should not be any need to drink at all. Right, now ran over. Definitely ran over now. Finished. 30 minutes to go. 3 kilometers to go. We're still climbing the hill in France. This is the France course in Zwift. You'll notice top right of the Zwift screen it says 5%. So that's the gradient of the hill in Zwift that we're climbing, but we are ignoring that gradient and we are climbing at 12%. So the actual hill is only 5%, but we are at 12%. And we stay at 12% for the whole way. Paul Hayward says, also, it's far too easy to spill your drink when you're on a Zwift run, as you well know. Yes, as I well know. Well done, gang. Keep it going. You should still feel fairly relaxed and comfortable. Stay up on the balls of your feet. And keep it upright. If your heart rate goes over 150, just drop the incline down a little bit. We are here to work the legs, not the heart. Sebastian is feeling heavy legs after workout 7 yesterday. So some people are doing the Zwift Academy run workouts at a rate of knots, aren't they? Sebastian already up to workout number 7. I have only completed workout number 4 as of last night. But there is no rush, by the way. We have got another 4 weeks to go, so that's 1 workout a week. So just breathing nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Hello, Matt. Matt in Nottingham says, going out for a lunch run soon. Enjoy listening to you finishing some work. Well, I'm glad somebody's working. I was typing an article this morning, which I should probably get back to once I've done this. I call this this is my lunchtime run. I don't normally run at lunchtime, but this Film I Run 500, it used to be at 9:30 in the morning, but when the time zones changed, or the kind of when it came to British summertime. Because all the runs are scheduled in the US, the time slot for this shifted, and we suddenly got loads more runners. We basically got a load of runners from Thailand and Malaysia who started using it as their evening run. So we kind of kept the time at 11:30 instead of 9:30. So you might be able to see 12 there. It's a bit difficult in the daytime, but there's a 12. That means I'm on 12% incline. And here's the speed over here. Oh, it's gone. Speed is there, and it says 6. So we're going at 6 kilometers per hour. And we've done it over a mile now. We've got 2.4 kilometers to go. Gradually making our way through it. Honestly, this does wonders for your calf muscles and your quadriceps, even for flat running. If you've got strong calf muscles, then your leg spring stiffness will be much better. Your spring off the ground, even in a flat run, will be improved, and you'll be a faster runner. Matt, yes, I did see that. Yeah, he told me I was on it. It just goes to show, though, doesn't it? You know, different approaches work. So there's no one approach to running a marathon which works. What Matt's talking about, by the way, on chat. So you may know Tim Gross. Used to be a very regular runner on Zwift. Isn't so much now. But he's a YouTuber, makes a lot of shoe reviews, and the other thing he's good at is data analysis. And he's done a video on his YouTube channel analysing the training pace of runners. So he's chosen various runners, some elite runners and some YouTube runners, of which I am one. He's chosen a load of runners and he's analysed their average training pace compared to their marathon performance time. And what's hilarious is of all the YouTubers and all the runners he's chosen, my average training pace is slower than everyone else's by miles. And the difference between my marathon PB and my training pace is vast as well, is the biggest of everyone's. So most runners who are doing a sub 3 marathon, their training pace will be about 1 minute, 1.5 minutes slower than their marathon pace. But for me, my training pace is about 4 minutes slower than my marathon pace. The slower a marathon runner gets, the more it correlates with their training pace. So if you're running a 5-hour marathon, your training pace and your marathon pace are likely to be very similar. And slower than that, and actually, your training pace is often faster than your marathon pace, because training distances are often short, 5, 10k, maybe half marathon. And when it comes to running the marathon, that's a much longer distance, and so their pace slows down. And whereas the other way, obviously it speeds up. So yeah, of all the marathon runners, my training pace is the slowest, and the gap between my training pace and my marathon pace is the biggest of anyone. But also, how many did he choose? How many people was it that he chose? About 50? So there's about 50 or so runners I think he had a look at. I do more elevation than anyone else, and I spend more time running than anyone else. But I spend more time running because I run slower. Because my average weekly distance is not as great as some of the runners. Some of the elite runners are regularly doing 80, 90, 100 miles a week. I'm doing about 60 to 70 miles a week in training when I'm training for something important. Right now, I'm not training for anything specific, so my average weekly mileage is about 40 to 50 probably. So there you go. Go and have a look at Tim's video. It's interesting. So we've got 17 minutes left, 1.8 kilometres to do. Slowly making our way up the hill. I haven't been checking my heart rate. Currently it's 141. I don't know if while I was talking there it went above 150. Sebastian's heart rate 143. Heart rate 140. Hayden's 166. See a little dip there. No drops from my heart rate, Seb. Okay, so right, I haven't. Okay, Seb's been keeping an eye on my heart rate. He says I haven't hit 150 yet. Mark, heart rate 144. Yeah, big brother Seb, keeping an eye on me. Thank you, Seb. Mark's feeling tired. Honor in June has joined us, has done almost a kilometre, so welcome Honor in. We see June quite a few times. Emily is with us as well. And up ahead, we've got Noguchi and Trakomichai. I think that's correct. Probably pronounced totally differently, but there we are. And AL from Germany as well. Andreas. Thank you, Andreas. Nice to have you with us. Just drop some ride-ons. So it's starting to get close to the time now where we think, can I stay under 150? So I need to stop talking for a little bit, if you'll excuse me. The minute I say I'm not going to talk, Matt asks me a question. You did that deliberately, didn't you? Yes, I think hill training most definitely is good for your cardio fitness, good for your muscle strength in your legs. There's nothing that isn't good about hill training, apart from it hurts. Sebastian says, this is the name of my running buddy Richard. Says, how do you pronounce Ślowot? It's I think it's Polish, and it's Ślowot. Ślowot. My running buddy Richard is now almost, he's about 10 months out with injury now. 10 months out with injury. But his wife Tanya, she's a regular on Zwift now. She runs almost every day on Zwift. Okay, we are coming up to the final kilometre. Great work, everyone. Full stop. Time to speed up a little bit more. Seb, she does tend to run on her own, but she is on every day. She is doing the workouts for the academy though. Okay, I'm definitely going to just be quiet for a little bit now. Mark is out. 10 minutes to go. It's so easy to get set up with Zwift running. Here's what you need. Firstly, access to a treadmill. It could be at home or at the gym, but any treadmill will work with Zwift. To get you moving in game, we need a speed source. Traditionally, we use a foot pod, like the Zwift Pod or the Stride, but you can also use the Run Smart treadmill sensor, your Apple Watch, one of the newer Garmin watches, the TSS app, and if you have a smart treadmill, your treadmill will connect directly to Zwift without the need for another device. Now simply download the Zwift app onto a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. Finally, pair your speed source in the app. Pairing heart rate from your watch or a chest strap is also a great addition to Zwift. And that's it. You're all set up for solo runs, solo or group workouts, challenges and real-time racing on Zwift with people from all over the world. 8 minutes to go. Heart rate looking good at the moment.
I got a bad feeling about this. Nice!
$700 meters to go. 6 minutes. Just staying as relaxed as I can. Thanks, Seb. Five minutes. Heart rate 146.
Giving my dad a ride on.
150, just hit 150. $151, $152, what a shame, never mind.
You suck!
Well, I did my best. I got to the last increase and I lasted for about 50 or 60 meters and then we went up to 150. And at the end of it, max heart rate reached was 154. So I think we've still got a bit of work to do. It's all about mileage though, honestly. You know, I haven't been doing my full 100k a week. If you notice, if you look back at my Strava, some weeks I'm doing 100k, then other weeks I'm doing, you know, less than that. And I had a whole week off after I did the Ben Nevis Ultra. I had a whole week off of no running at all. So it's all just mileage, because I've done some quick runs recently, I've done some hard efforts recently, and we're still, you know, I did a marathon on Sunday and a marathon the week before that. So in terms of long efforts and hard interval runs, I'm doing those, I'm doing the work, but I think it's mileage. You know, this continues to confirm to me that it's mileage that helps me to maintain a low heart rate. And you know, we do these sessions every week, twice a week, don't we? So Tuesday and Thursday, every week I'm climbing 500 meters, or every week I'm climbing 1,000 meters minimum. And that's you know, then add whatever we do outside. So it's not like I'm not doing the elevation either. So it's all mileage. It is getting the miles in, and you can only do that by going slowly. So yeah, go and look at that Tim Gross video. Andrew Cutmore says, why does Film My Run not have its own running kit? Because, I'll tell you why, because I haven't got loads of members in the Film My Run club, because we're not officially a club on Zwift. Zwift long distance runners have lots and lots of members, and so they command attention from Zwift HQ more than I do. So that's fine. I mean, it's great that Zwift long distance runners have got a kit. It sometimes it does feel a little bit of a snub, because John Hancock has been running the park for 5 years now. Ryan Downey has been doing the pack runs, pack clubs, running and cycling for 3-4 years now. And I've been doing Film My Run for 6 years. In fact, longer than that if we talk about the bike as well. So, you know, we could get a bit grumpy because we haven't got kit, but it is all down to numbers. It's down to the fact that Zwift long distance runners, even though they've only been around, I'm a member, we've only been around for, thank you for that, for a year or so. A vast number of people have joined the club, and you know, sometimes we regularly get 100 people in a run, and so that's why, really. You know, Sorry, I'm just trying to find my screen. So we will get kit. Film My Run will get kit. Run in the Park will get kit. Pack will get a kit at some stage. But just not yet. Not yet. Okay, that's it. Now we are back tonight for a baseline run, because Jen Rhymes, who is the one of the coaches for the Zwift Run Academy, she is leading a run tonight. So you'll be able to ask questions. You will be able to run with Jen Rhymes. She's an Olympic athlete, or a former Olympic athlete, and she partners with Terence Mahone to do the Zwift Run Academy workouts. And she was in Berlin with the Zwift team a few weeks ago for the 2020 team. Who went to Berlin to run the marathon. If you want to be part of the 2022 team, then you can do a baseline run tonight with Jen Rhymes, and then do 8 workouts, and then do a finish line run. So the baseline run is basically just to get you a benchmark for where you're at with a 5k run. Then we do a series of 8 workouts to get you fitter to run 5k, and then you do a finish line run, which is your final run of the workout, final run of the program, and that should show you an improvement over your baseline run. And then you are, if as long as you've used cadence and heart rate for the baseline run and the finish line run, as long as you've used cadence and heart rate, you will be eligible for the Zwift Run team to go to the marathon next year. And you can put your application in. And you may or may not be chosen. Good luck if you are in it to win it. That's it from me. So we'll see you tonight. Now the run, let me just find this. Hold on 1 second. The run is about, I think it's 5 p.m. UK time. So that's 6 p.m. Central European time. Where are we today? Oh, we're on cycling. Running. Right, this one here. Oh no, that's a workout, sorry. Where are we? Baseline run. There we are, the baseline run. So this is 5 o'clock UK time tonight, the baseline run. This run will be with Jennifer Rhymes, one of the coaches from the Zwift Run Academy. There are only 4 runners listed there at the moment, so even if you've already done the baseline run, but you want to have a chat with Jen, if you want to ask her a question in game, go and join the baseline run with Jen Rhymes at 5 p.m. UK time today, and ask her some questions. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We'll see you all tonight at 5 p.m. Take care. Bye-bye.